we owed the audience a real good show, and the audience felt they owed us. You don't know, audiences don't know entertainers rate.
Tom Selleck was born on January 29, 1945, in Detroit, Michigan, into a family that seemed ordinary on the surface, yet full of ambition and quiet determination. His mother, Martha, stayed home to raise the children, while his father, Robert, balanced life as a real estate investor with service in the Army. Working on between 9 bombers during the final years of World War II, Tom was the second of 4 siblings, with older brother Bob paving the way, followed by Martha and Daniel. Detroit in the late 1940s was a city of factories, endless noise, and unyielding pace, but for young Tom, a far greater journey lay ahead. At the age of 3, the family left Detroit behind, driven by Robert's leap of faith. He had accepted a commission-only position with Coldwell Banker in Los Angeles, a gamble. That meant no guaranteed paycheck, just the hope that California's promise of opportunity would pay off. The family settled in Sherman Oaks, a community still dominated by farmland and open skies. A stark contrast to Detroit's bustling streets. For Tom, childhood in California was anything but simple. Towering over his peers even at a young age, he grew into his remarkable height of 6'4", which made him stand out but also set him apart. Classrooms became arenas of awkwardness, and social interactions were often challenging. Yet, Tom turned what could have been a curse into an advantage, joining the basketball and baseball teams at Grant High School, where his coordination, focus, and raw athleticism helped him rise above insecurity. Even as money remained tight, Tom worked part-time at a clothing store, learning the value of persistence and hard work, traits that would carry him through a life filled with ambition, setbacks, and extraordinary opportunity. At 17, Tom's life nearly ended in a heartbeat, driving with friends along the winding, treacherous curves of Mulholland Drive in his mother's red Chevy Corvette. The car lost control, soaring through the air before crashing violently. The accident could have been fatal, and while Tom survived, the impact left an indelible mark. He emerged from the wreckage shaken, painfully aware of life's fragility. That moment became a compass for the man he would become: cautious, determined, and unafraid to take calculated risks in pursuit of his dreams. Despite the looming shadows of mortality, Tom's path remained far from smooth. California promised opportunity, but opportunity required sacrifice. While attending Grant High School, he balanced sports, academics, and work at a local clothing store, instilling in him a relentless work ethic. College proved no easier. Tom had dreamed of attending USC, rejecting a full basketball scholarship to Montana State because he believed his future belonged in Los Angeles. Instead, he started at Valley Junior College, saving every dollar he could while taking acting classes on the side. Fate seemed to tease him. Auditions brought humiliation. He lost twice on national television dating shows, a crushing blow to a young man who had never sought the spotlight before. Yet those losses opened a door. A casting agent noticed him during a commercial audition, leading to a Pepsi ad, his first professional acting job. Tom's natural athleticism and charisma shone, even if it meant drinking so much soda he became physically ill on set. That $1,000 commercial set in motion a chain of events that would eventually lead him to 20th Century Fox and the precipice of stardom. Tom's early career was a delicate balancing act between work, military obligations, and auditions. Drafted during the Vietnam War, he joined the California National Guard, serving 6 years while keeping his uniform ready in the trunk of his car, prepared to deploy at a moment's notice. The uncertainty, the pressure, and the near-death experiences forged a resilience in Tom that would define his life and career, shaping the man who would one day command the screen with effortless charm. Breaking into Hollywood was never easy for Tom Selleck. Tall, striking, and confident, he seemed destined for the screen, but his very height became a curse. At 6'4", he towered over almost every actor, a challenge for directors and cinematographers. One agent bluntly told him his height was too much for television, forcing him to accept bit parts just to stay visible. Early roles on shows like Jude for the Defense offered glimpses of potential, but he often clashed with co-stars and producers over creative differences. Tom wanted authenticity. They wanted conformity. Even when opportunity appeared, luck and circumstance were fickle. In 1972, he traveled to the Philippines to film the horror movie Daughters of Satan. The set was chaotic, unsafe, and poorly coordinated. A fire scene nearly burned him, singeing his hair, while language barriers made communication nearly impossible. Every day tested not just his craft but his courage. He pressed on, knowing persistence was the only path forward, yet it was these trials that sharpened Tom's resilience. He returned to auditions, commercials, and acting classes under the demanding Milton Katzel's at the Beverly Hills Playhouse. Katzel's intense, almost brutal training pushed actors to extremes, forcing emotional authenticity through exercises that were equal parts genius and torment. Tom endured it all, honing skills that would later allow him to carry a series on his shoulders. His breakthrough came with Magnum PI, but not without resistance. The initial script presented a caricatured action hero, a glossy James Bond imitation that Tom refused to play. He fought for humor, for depth, for a character that could breathe beyond the cliches. Producers hesitated, but Tom's insistence reshaped the show. His vision turned Magnum into the iconic figure fans still remember, charming, witty, and human. That moment was more than a victory. It was the start of Selleck becoming a name synonymous with perseverance, authenticity, and understated brilliance in Hollywood. While Tom Selleck's star was rising on screen, His personal life became a battlefield of temptation, secrecy, and profound love. In 1971, he married Jacqueline Ray, a model who stood by him during his lean years. She believed in him when acting jobs were scarce, when auditions failed, and when money was tight. Jacqueline's unwavering support gave Tom stability, yet fame, once it arrived, threatened to unravel the life they had built together. By the early 1980s, Magnum PI had catapulted Tom into global fame. Jacqueline began to feel the weight of Hollywood's seductive pull. On location in Hawaii, tabloids began to report Tom surrounded by adoring local women. Fame, attention, and the intoxicating allure of success created tension that no amount of love could immediately fix. The marriage that had survived years of struggle ultimately fractured. Their 1980 divorce left Jacqueline with only modest support, a car, and their home a stark contrast to Tom's skyrocketing career. Yet, even amid heartbreak, life offered new beginnings. Tom became captivated by Julie Mack, a British actress performing in Cats. His obsession was quiet, almost invisible. He returned to the theater 12 times, silently watching her performance. In 1987, they married in secret at Lake Tahoe, using false names to avoid media scrutiny. Only family attended, but secrecy could not shield them from challenges. Tom's workaholic nature and demanding career often kept him away, creating tension in the early years of marriage. Their daughter, Hannah, was born in 1988 on Tom's sprawling 63-acre avocado ranch in Ventura County, a dreamland that quickly revealed its isolating reality. Surrounded by animals instead of peers, Hannah's childhood was one of beauty, but also quiet solitude. Tom also adopted Jacqueline's son, Kevin, in 1987, but Kevin's life was turbulent. He struggled with addiction, ran into legal trouble, and required repeated intervention. Fame and fortune could not shield him from the hardships of growing up, and Tom's love, guidance, and resources were tested like never before. These years would define Selleck not just as an actor, but as a father, a husband, and the man wrestling with the pressures of personal life hidden behind Hollywood's glamorous facade. Tom Selleck's career was a delicate dance between fortune and misfortune, brilliance and heartbreak. Just as he cemented his place in television history with Magnum PI, fate tested him with moments that could have shattered anyone else. In 1980, a near miss with cinematic immortality struck. Spielberg and Lucas wanted him to play Indiana Jones. Tom had chemistry in the audition, the energy, the look, but CBS, protective of his contract, refused to release him. Harrison Ford stepped in, becoming a global icon, while Tom had to watch opportunities slip through his fingers. The irony was cruel. A 6-month strike on Magnum could have freed him, yet timing betrayed him. He later admitted the decision haunted him not as regret over ability, but over doors left unopened. Tragedy struck again during filming. A helicopter crashed on the set of Magnum. PI claimed the life of 33-year-old camera operator Robert Vanderkar. Tom was devastated, witnessing the raw human cost behind the glamour of television. He demanded stricter safety protocols, forcing studios to recognize the stakes of on-set danger. Tom was no longer just an actor. He was a protector, a man fighting for lives beyond the camera lens. His career, however, soared despite setbacks. 3 Men and a Baby in 1987 was a massive hit, earning $167 million, though a peculiar rumor about a ghost on set added a bizarre layer to his life story. In 1990, Quigley Down underpushed Tom into harsh environments, testing endurance, stamina, and skill. While the box office didn't reflect his dedication, the pride he felt in his craft and commitment to authenticity never wavered. Through every triumph, every missed opportunity, and every tragedy, Tom Selleck's persona remained defined by resilience, integrity, and an unwavering work ethic. Hollywood's lights may have blinded many, but Tom navigated the spotlight with an honesty few could emulate, crafting a legacy that blended cinematic legend with human vulnerability. Fame came, fame tested him, and fame never broke him, but life's true challenges were only just beginning. Outside the glare of Hollywood, Tom Selleck sought solace in the rolling hills of Ventura County, purchasing a 63-acre avocado ranch from Dean Martin in 1988 for $5 million. At first, the property was a sanctuary, a place to escape scripts, cameras, and the constant demands of fame. He dreamed of a quiet life, raising his daughter Hannah among animals, fields, and open skies. Yet tranquility proved elusive. The ranch, once a haven, soon became a battlefield against forces beyond his control. California's brutal droughts in the 2010s devastated the property. Nearly all 2,500 avocado trees withered, and even 25-century-old oak trees perished. In 2015, legal troubles compounded the physical damage. The local water district sued Tom, alleging he had stolen 1.4 million gallons of water amid mandatory drought restrictions. Investigators traced tanker trips to a public hydrant, and the case became a public embarrassment. Tom settled for over $100,000, a small sum compared to the stress it caused. Yet even amidst these struggles, he refused to compromise his principles. He protected his land, his legacy, and his family with the same tenacity that had carried him through Hollywood's fiercest challenges. Life on the ranch brought beauty, but also isolation. Hannah grew up surrounded by animals instead of peers, finding escape in horses and solitude. While Tom balanced his acting career, personal obligations, and business ventures, he remained deeply involved, tending to operations even as fame demanded more of him. The ranch, which once symbolized freedom, became a reminder that wealth and security were never guaranteed through legal battles, environmental devastation, and financial pressure. Tom's resilience was tested yet again. Every setback mirrored the struggles of his earlier life, from Mulholland Drive to failed auditions reminding him that success was never permanent. In the quiet valleys and sun-baked fields, Tom learned that real endurance was measured not by awards or ratings, but by the courage to stand firm when life refused to bend by the mid-2010s. The relentless demands of decades in Hollywood began to take a toll on Tom Selleck's body. In 2015, a stunt injury led to chronic knee pain, eventually requiring bilateral knee replacements in 2024. The scars, long invisible, became a testament to a career lived with intensity and authenticity. Simple movements that once came effortlessly, walking across a set, climbing stairs, or performing a small action scene now demanded assistance. Yet, despite mounting physical limitations, Tom's determination never wavered during this period. Tom starred in Blue Bloods, portraying Frank Reagan with gravitas and subtle warmth. The role was demanding, requiring him to convey authority, empathy, and familial connection in every scene. Behind the camera, conflicts arose over pay cuts, storyline direction, and the grueling shooting schedule. In 2023, CBS requested a 25% salary reduction to sustain the show's budget. Tom agreed, sacrificing $1.2 million, not for profit, but to preserve the quality and integrity of the series. He wanted each family dinner scene to feel real, to resonate with authenticity, a testament to the meticulous care he brought to his craft, yet the physical cost was undeniable. Arthritis worsened, weight gain due to medications compounded mobility issues, and depression silently crept in. Friends describes him as struggling to move freely, dependent on support, and battling the frustration of a body that no longer obeyed. Despite this, he showed up, memorizing lines, guiding younger actors, and maintaining the emotional truth that had always defined his performances, even in decline. Tom's professionalism, discipline, and love for storytelling shone through. Every scene was a reminder of resilience, every line delivered a demonstration of dedication. While his health demanded adjustments, Tom never let it erode the passion that had carried him from near-death experiences, failed auditions, and Hollywood disappointments to decades of enduring success and cultural impact. In May 2024, Tom Selleck unveiled the most intimate chapter of his life with the release of his memoir, You Never Know, co-written with Ellis Henkin. Unlike interviews or curated media appearances, the book offered raw honesty, childhood struggles, near-death experiences, failed auditions, triumphs, heartbreaks, and moments of self-doubt that even fame could not erase. For Tom, it was not just a reflection of a career, it was a reckoning with the person he had become. Within its 320 pages, Tom recounted stories previously unseen by fans. The car crash on Mulholland Drive, the grueling training under Milton Catzels, the tension of family and love, and the delicate navigation between integrity and fame all were laid bare. Readers glimpsed a man who had wrestled with the consequences of choices that shaped not just his career, but the lives of those around him. The memoir resonated immediately, becoming a bestseller and sparking widespread admiration for Tom's courage to confront his vulnerabilities publicly. Beyond personal reflection, Tom's memoir illuminated the sacrifices required to balance Hollywood's spotlight with genuine human connection. His marriage to Jacqueline, the secret wedding to Jill Mack, and the struggles of raising Hannah and Kevin revealed the emotional cost behind success. Fame had given him influence and wealth, but it had also imposed distance, isolation, and relentless scrutiny. Through it all, Tom remained steadfast, insisting that authenticity, love, and commitment were worth far more than applause. As he contemplated the future, Tom's legacy extended beyond awards, ratings, or box office numbers. It was the quiet dignity of perseverance, the courage to protect others, and the resilience to rise repeatedly from failure and tragedy. In the end, Tom Selleck's story was not merely that of a Hollywood icon, it was a testament to human endurance, the power of integrity, and the unyielding pursuit of purpose amid life's unpredictable currents. As Tom Selleck entered his late 70s and early 80s, the realities of age and a physically demanding career became impossible to ignore. Once a man who patrolled his Ventura County ranch on an ATV, checking crops and animals, he now struggled to walk without assistance. Arthritis, bilateral knee replacements, and years of accumulated strain left him reliant on support and medications that, while necessary, carried their own burdens. Prednisone, for instance, increased appetite and weight, pushing his body to the limits and creating fears of insulin resistance, heart attacks, and strokes. Despite these challenges, Tom remained determined to maintain both his health and sense of purpose. The ranch, now a mixture of triumph and struggle, symbolized his persistence. 63 acres of memories, successes, failures, and quiet moments of reflection. Surrounded by Jill Mack, his steadfast wife, Tom confronted the duality of his life, celebrated actor, yet a man grappling with the fragility of his own body. He spoke openly about depression, the fear of losing independence, and the weight of seeing a lifetime of work confront mortality. Friends noted that while his mobility was limited, his mind remained sharp, his humor intact, and his dedication to family and craft unwavering. Isolation became both a refuge and a test. The ranch offered peace, but also reminded him of time passing, opportunities missed, and the impermanence of fame. Each day, Tom navigated the delicate balance between holding on and letting go, fully aware that the legacy he left behind would be shaped not only by his iconic roles, but by his courage, humanity, and relentless resilience. Tom Selleck's life is a study in contrast, triumph and tragedy, fame and solitude, ambition and humility. From a young boy navigating the uncertainty of a family relocation to near-death experiences, failed auditions, and grueling Hollywood sets. He consistently demonstrated an extraordinary capacity to endure every setback, from missed cinematic opportunities like Indiana Jones to personal losses. Physical decline was met with perseverance and integrity. More than just a celebrated actor, Tom became a protector, mentor, and example of commitment to craft and family. He insisted on authenticity, whether shaping the humor and depth of Magnum P.I., guiding the family scenes on Blue Bloods, or protecting crew members during dangerous shoots. Fame never dulled his focus on the human element behind every story, nor did success shield him from the challenges of parenting, marriage, or maintaining a vast ranch amid environmental and financial pressures. As he reflected on his memoir, "You Never Know," Tom revealed the profound truth that life's victories often come quietly through resilience, compassion, and the willingness to confront hardship head-on. The ranch, the roles, the accolades, they are symbols of a life lived fully. But it is his unwavering perseverance that defines his legacy. Tom Selleck's story reminds us that the true measure of success lies not in applause or wealth, but in enduring challenges with dignity, rising from setbacks, and leaving the world a little better than we found it.